All right, so welcome. This is the intro to Canva. This is your landing page. Once you've signed up to canva.com, you have to register on canva.com to get your account. And once you've signed up and you open it up, this is the landing page. You should have your name across here on the left. You should also have an icon or your initials here on the right. And these are the different options that you have. You have the home, which is everything on this page. You have a variety of templates that are broken into social media, personal, business, etc. And under each one, you have different options there. You have the features, which gives you photos, icons, print products, etc. You have a Learn channel, which is great because it has courses and tutorials and blogs. It's been very helpful for me getting to know a couple of these things. And then you have the pricing. I did start off with free and then I moved to the pro because I felt I wanted to use some of the options that you couldn't get for free. Over on the left-hand side is all your personal stuff. So if you're looking for your designs or recent or whatever you've shared, and as you start to create more, you will find that it will be very useful to create folders. So it's like any folder on any system. It's great to separate out your different Canva if you're doing it for different groups. Across the top, you have all these different options. And each one of them has a drop down, but they give it to you here also. They suggest invitations, Instagram posts, presentations, posters, videos, Facebook posts. There's all types of options, all types of things to do. And you have the same thing across the top, and you have more. But this is something you're going to have to explore yourself. You should just jump on and click around and see what makes sense. And then below, of course, you have your recent designs, which are the ones that I've been doing. So first, we're going to create a design, and I'm going to walk you through the basic elements. So in order to create a design, you just simply go up to this purple button here, which is just to the left of your initials, and you click Create a Design. Again, you have all these different options. Sizes are written in faded gray beside it so you can decide what you really want to make. I usually start with an Instagram post because that's my most often used Canva. So it opens up on the right hand side is your blank canvas. That's what you're going to be designing. On the left hand side you get your toolbars, and they have a template toolbar which gives you different templates. So I was talking about before, these are some of the ones that I've been looking at. You get the Elements toolbar, which gives you different shapes and graphics, moving and not, that you can also drag in. This is where you upload your material. If you have some things you want to upload, you just click Upload and Upload Media. I'll help you. This is your text bar where they have the 3 basic texts, and then below that they have different options of different texts. And again, these are really good just to click on and play around with them and see if they're very helpful. And then background. Background is either color, or you can use landscapes or patterns or gradients or even abstract. So we're just going to go up right now and we're going to add text. So I'm going to click the text tool. I'm going to go back up to my basic headings, and I think I'll take just the subheading. And when you click it, it appears over here on the right on your canvas. And because it's highlighted, you can just start to type whatever the text is that you want. So type here whatever you want. So when the text box comes up, you get the text options up at the top. So this is color, this is bold. Oh, I didn't type I made a typo here, sorry about that. TYPE. Italics, this is alignment, right, left, or center. And then here you have the 3 more buttons. They give you the underline, it gives you the uppercase, it gives you the list in bullets, it gives you the spacing between lines, it gives you effects, which you can play around with, it gives you animate as well. Position, if you're positioning it over an image or under an image, you'll want to know what the positions are. We have top, bottom, left, and right now, forward and backward are grayed out because you don't have anything on the canvas. If we're going to click on the text and then I click on this multicolored bar and I click on here and I choose a color red, it changes to red. And then if I go up, let me triple highlight it, it goes to bold. So the one way to select it, you probably use Command A or Option A. I just triple click boom, 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 and it just collects everything that's within that type box. So that's the quickest way to do it, and then just click your color. You can swivel the text with the swivel tool, and it tells you the degrees. Sometimes it's not quite so easy to get back to 0. Or this crossbar is used for moving it up and down. So if you have different things like images on your page and you want to move your text around, you use the crossbar, and if you want to sort of make it slightly turned and then turn it around and then want to move it, that's how you do it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, once you've got your text, and trust me, you're going to start off with something and you're going to change it a lot of times. So I'm just going to go down here to the background tool, and I'm going to use a background. Now the first thing that shows up on the background is your option for colors. So say I make a pink background. Well, with red lettering it doesn't work out too well. So let's do a green background with red lettering. Or you can choose from these landscapes, patterns. So here's a pattern. Here's a landscape. Here's a gradient. There's an abstract. Food. Wrong color. Put it on nuts. Textures, flowers. They're endless. They're endless. You can even search in here for a background. So if you want to do an igloo, I don't know if they have an igloo. Oh, they don't have an igloo. So snowflake. There's my snowflake. So I can use a snowflake background. So for every element, mostly down here, like for background and elements and going back up to template, you can use this search tool and see if you can find something. Now that we have background, I'm going to show you how to upload an image. So say, for example, you don't like the choices that they give you in all these different backgrounds. You want a specific background. So you find your background on Google or whatever, you download it, and you have to upload it. So if you upload it, you go to Uploads, then you go up to Upload Media, and then you look for whatever your background is. So I want to show you the difference. If you click on the house, it pops up as a picture here over on your canvas. And then you can move it around, you can stretch it out, but it doesn't make it a background. It's only an image. If you click and drag it, it becomes your background. And now you can't really move it. However, once it's your background and you double click it, you'll see that I have the rest of the image. And say instead of showing a door and 2 windows, I want to show maybe a door and a bit of a window, or I want to stretch it out so I only have the door in the middle with a stoop. This is how you can play around with your background. So you went from a picture of a blue house like this, you dragged it over, and then you double clicked it, and you either shrank it or moved it or expanded it to do whatever you wanted. Now that I've shown you how to drag an image in to make a background, let me show you how to use frames. So frames is part of the elements, and frames create boundaries. So when you have a frame, you can drag your image into it. And let me show you how. So if I go into elements, you can either search for frames up here, and these are all the different frames. So just imagine you can drag any image into these frames and it fills the frames. I mean, it's quite cool. But we're going to start with a simple one. So I'm just going to click on the round frame and the frame comes into the middle of my blank canvas. So I'm going to go back to my image in my uploaded that I uploaded, and I'm going to drag it like I did for the background, but this time it's only going to go into the frame. There. So now you can see how you can play around with it. You can drag it around. So this is really great if you want to have 2 circles with images in the circles. You can make 3 circles, 4 circles. I've even dragged it off so you only get half a circle. As you work with different templates, you'll see how people use these frames. Now, frames operate the same way that backgrounds operate. So if I double click the image, I will get the whole image and I can expand it. So now I only have the window. I can move it around. So now I have just the door. But instead of having just the door as a background, I now have just the door in the frame, and I can drag it and expands it, but it always stays the same image. The size changes. The one problem of frames is if you tend to have a frame that is the same size as the image you drag into it, when you double click on it, there's not much you can do with it. So I just want to alert you to that. I'm sure you're going to find that as you start using them. So the last thing that I wanted to show you, get rid of that, is playing with templates. So we're going to go up to templates again, and these are all the templates that I've used. I'm going to look for one called Summer Instagram Post, only because I've used this before, and I like the format. Here it is. So I click on it, and it comes up here. Now this is a post with 4 different images and the circle in the middle. So I'm going to go up to my uploads because I want to use the images I've uploaded. And I did one on bridges, so I have to go down and find my bridges. Where are my bridges? See, I've been quite busy. Oh, say tourism. Okay, I did one on tourism. So what I want to do is I want to put these 4 images in each of these 4 quadrants. So I'm just going to use the technique of sliding and dropping into the frame. You see now I have that in there. All right, try that again. Okay, into that frame. And then I have the skiing one that I'm going to drag into this frame. Okay, and then I have, what's the other one? I guess I'll just take the waterfall. I don't know what that was, so I'll put that into here. Okay, so there are the 4. Now, I don't want this bar at the bottom, so I'm going to double click that image, and I'm going to expand the image out, and then I'm going to center it so that you have the skier in the image, but you don't have the WMUR banner across the bottom. And there you go. So that is basically how you use a template. You just find one that you think works with whatever you're working on. And then to change the text, you double click in the box and you just tourism in New Hampshire. And I'm just going to make that a bit bigger because you can't read it. Tourism in New Hampshire. And that's it. So you just use any template and you can swap things in and out. And oh, I know another technique that's really good is when you're building your templates is sometimes what I do is I add a page. So you can add a page where you start over, or you can actually duplicate the page and then you can play around with different elements and you compare the two, and then to delete a page, like you could delete the second page there or delete the first page there. So let's show you how to share. So this is where I said you could download up here. So you can download, because this has a moving part to it, it's an MP4 video. You just download it. All right, very simple. You go find it in your download. Or you have these 3 dots over here where you can share, where you can download it or do it as a direct Instagram right onto Instagram. You share the link, um, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, all these options. The other option that I want to share, which is very valuable, is this one, which is a schedule. So it dumps it into a calendar. So I'm going to change the date and time. I don't use this well, I use this, but I don't use it. So I'm going to save it for the 18th. Done. Now you can select your channel. I've never done that because I like to send it up on myself. But the other thing that's great is that, oh, it's saved here, is that you can put your text in here. Like this is the text that I entered there so that I can paste it when I go to post my filibuster Instagram post. When I'm building it, I'm researching and getting text, so I just dump the text into this section here. So it keeps everything set. And now look what happens. My draft has been saved. And if I go back to home, and I go down to Content Planner, this is the calendar with all the different posts that I've been doing. And so what you can do is just click on the post that you've scheduled, and you'll have all your text here on the side. So you can post it directly, or you can download it or upload it, or you can just post it directly from Canva, but you'll have all your text here. So, I mean, usually when I build things, I'm on an inspiration streak and I don't post immediately. So I like to keep the language there. So I think that's pretty well it for sharing. You can either share directly, but using that content planner is really terrific. I discovered it after a few weeks. So you can see I actually just dump them in dates. I don't necessarily directly post from those dates, but it gives me a way to know what I've posted when, and it also gives me a place to save all the text that I want to go with my images. And that's it.